Why do you feel the need to drink all of the juice in my fridge every time you come over?
That's because you could afford real juice. I can only afford drink. You got that real Vita coconut water. You know I'm living in poverty. Like, you know I can only afford drink. You got that real juice. Apple, orange, grape. Like, come on, you coming that good. Hey y'all, it's Onika
And JR.
and you are dishing with Dainty Dish. How you doing, JR?
Apparently I'm living that good.
You live that good life. You live that shopping at Longo's life.
Oh my god! You caught me today, huh?
I caught you.
Oh
I
my
caught
gosh.
you.
It was a good week. It was a good week. So I decided to shop at Longo's.
I like this bougie bitch. Like, whatever.
Oh my gosh. I'm doing good. I realized that although I said I didn't take the summer off, I took the summer off because I'm back to doing that 12, 6 to 16 hour days again.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got goals, man.
So you gotta get your bag.
Gotta get those bags. But yeah, I'm just kicking it. I'm back to doing my consulting gigs, and I'm just around. I'm just doing my thing in the city, and I'm still doing open mics all around. So,
Okay.
I'm just doing me.
You should plug some of those so people could go and watch you.
I
You don't
will.
tell me because you never want me to watch. But
There's a few things that I'm trying to work out first before I start really pushing.
pushing it.
I mean,
Okay.
but I do have like a joke on my Instagram that I'm working on. Like it's funny. It's like it's one of my IT things.
Okay,
so I'm
something super nerdy.
Yeah, but the cool thing is, my goal with that is I'm posting it now in its infancy, like the original joke that I created, and then as I keep molding and developing that joke, I'm gonna keep posting that same joke so you can kind of see the progression of it.
Of the joke, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing with that one.
Is it up? Is it up now?
Yeah, it's been up for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't been on your Instagram. I follow you, but I don't follow you.
I feel the same way. It's okay.
It
okay.
is what it is.
It's
It
like
is
when
what
people
it
tell
is.
me, "Oh my gosh, did you see the daintyism?" I'm like, "The what? Oh, she's posting those? Okay, cool.
Daintyisms are a real thing.
I know.
I'm making them into a real thing.
I know Twitter. If you
on
if you
Twitter.
believe it, you can achieve it, and I'm so
Thank
proud of
you.
you for that.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
so other than that, I'm doing good. I'm my dodgeball team. We got back together, and we're now a new
Okay.
team, and we have it's a new season, so we're starting out. I think we lost 11-5 our first game, which
That's
is
okay.
cool. It's good, but it's all
learning
about progression.
experience.
All we're about is having $5 beers after.
That's all it's about.
That's
It's the
all it's
beers
about.
afterwards.
It's we play to have a $5 beer after the game. That's it.
That's good.
So, but anyway, we're doing good. What's going on with me? Nothing else. I'm gonna go see my parents because I didn't see my mom yesterday, my dad yesterday. I was supposed to, but then I went and saw Chris D'Elia instead.
Who's Crystalia?
He's a comedian.
Oh, Crystal, I don't know. I'm not in that realm. I'm not in that universe. I
yeah.
know like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart. Like I know big people. I don't know like.
Wow.
I didn't mean it like that,
Wow.
Christabella.
God.
I didn't mean it like that. If you're listening, my bad.
No,
I'll come check you.
he's big on the white scene,
The white scene, the Caucasian scene.
Caucasian scene.
Okay,
Yeah.
why is it? What's his name?
Chris D'Elia. I think I might get it wrong.
D'Elia?
I don't want to get it wrong.
Because
So
that doesn't sound white.
okay.
Crystalia sounds like. I'm not going to say what it sounds like. Never mind.
Yeah, but I mean he's cool shit, right? He's really good. I enjoy his callbacks and like his storytelling. Like, so that's the reason why I was like I'm going to see. You gotta look at the best to see what your competition will eventually
Exactly.
be. Like
Got to go in like a trench coat and some glasses and a hat.
Yeah.
Sit in the back, real shady. Just have like a
I
watered
literally was in
down
the back.
drink. Have a watered down drink. You don't want them to see your face. Like, oh, my competition's in the room.
No, I was in the back, no drink, just sat there and watched
Just
the whole
sat there
thing.
and
It was
watched.
crazy.
Took
It was
notes. Like, I'm gonna get you.
good. Oh my gosh! No, it was really good. No, one of my dodgeball team members put me on him like earlier in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, this is a cool podcast. It's a cool podcast too."
Okay.
Congratulations.
Also, our competition. Congratulations. Good for you,
no,
sir.
that's the name of this podcast.
But congratulations.
Yeah,
well, congratulations.
yeah,
Good for you, sir.
And so then I went and looked at his stuff on Netflix, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's actually really funny."
Oh, he's on Netflix, so he is a big deal.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing when you said I wish you guys did a big deal because it made sense.
Clearly, I know nothing about anything. So
Yeah. You live in your little bubble, but
I do.
Yes, I checked him out. I'm going to be checking out a lot of Just for Laughs stuff this coming week. And well, by the time this comes out, it'll be in the midst of the Just for Laughs 42. So I'll just be checking out a bunch of stuff for that.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, what's going on with you?
Class is going really, really well. We had our second week this week.
Class? What class? Is this your rap class?
My rap class, and I don't rap like Drake it's a wellness recovery action program. And I'm learning a lot about just like mental health and how to deal with people who have mental health issues, and how to make, it's basically like you're doing a plan for them. Like you're doing this like planning process where you're coming up with like we do exercises, and we come up with like, I don't know, like we haven't done a lot of it yet, but I know we have to come up with like a plan for mental health and wellness for our clients.
So is this kind of like, so are you're essentially creating a plan like the one that was created for you like some years ago, right? Like,
yeah.
So you're kind of adding that type of experience into helping somebody else. You're kind of giving back to the community, essentially. I'm trying to. I'm doing my very absolute best. I know, because we've had a conversation about it. I mean, about the podcast in particular, like where we were on vacation for the last, couple weeks.
Yeah, we dicked around.
Like we were dicking
around.
We kind of just, it was more on the lines of things that we were just having our casual conversation, nothing really too
and I apologize if I offended anyone in those casual conversations.
But no, like we got to get back to what
what matters the most. And to me, that's mental health
and spreading awareness. Mm-hmm. So I guess you're saying like you're finding it, you're learning more about mental health. Is that, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like you're learning more about it as how it affects other people, or is how you're learning to consider other people, or like I don't really follow what you mean about that.
I'm learning about it in the sense of how I can use it for myself, like how I could use this plan. So like I've already come up with what's called an advanced directive for myself. So it's kind of like a document that tells the hospital how I would like to be treated when I'm in the hospital. I remember I showed it to you and I sent it to you, and like my contacts, who to reach out to. We're teaching people about services that are provided through my home hospital and organizations around Toronto where they can get food services, mental health services, addiction services. I actually did a facilitation course, because one of the courses that I had taken previously was facilitation, and I facilitated a group this week at the Withdrawal Management Center. In Toronto, and it was a really humbling experience. Like it was really very much like, this could be, because when you have mental health and addiction kind of go hand in hand. People don't seem to realize that. Not everyone who is an addict has mental health problems, but people with mental health often self-medicate and become addicts themselves. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So the center that I work with had me go in and lead a group, and it was just, and I'll tell you all about it because I want it to be the center of one of the things we talk about today on boundaries. So speaking of boundaries though, so that's what I've been up to in regards to my personal life and my personal growth and educational growth. But in regards to my work life, my boundaries were violated in the worst possible way last week.
I don't believe you, but okay.
So I had a customer who wanted service.
And you're in a customer service job.
And I'm in a customer service job.
Okay.
So I was caught between two customers. One customer both customers asked me for service at the same time. One had a simple request, so I granted that request first. The other one was not happy with that, so she went to complain to my manager. So I saw this interaction happening, and I swoop in like I'm a manager, and I want to now go to the woman and apologize to her for not being able to focus on her in the moment that, the situation was happening. And she proceeded to cuss me from nave to chap. And I haven't used nave to chap in a while. It was some Shakespearean shit. Like,
she came with that old English.
Like, she just cussed me from nave to chap, like, F you this, and who the F do you think you are? And I was standing there first, and you shouldn't have, and do you think we'll ever have another effing interaction? And I'm just like apologizing all the way through. Meanwhile, like, blackface is just like wants to come out. Like, white face is on hard, but black face wants to come out like hard. But I was like, I don't want to lose my job today or get arrested. So I'm just going to take this and then I'm going to quietly go into a corner and just shed a couple tears. And I don't think anyone should ever be crying at their job. Like, that's when it's time to reevaluate your situation. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to reevaluate. When you're shedding tears at your job, like...
Yeah, I mean, I think now you understand why I am never rude to customer service people. Like, you see me get upset at you when you
because I get snarky. Yeah, I get snarky.
Like, if I'm with someone that gets that way with, I immediately put a stop to it.
Yes, and you do.
I don't.
It's unacceptable.
I don't play that way. It's because at the end of the day, I've done the job and I understand what that job entails. And a lot of times, the expectation of a customer and the expectation of an employee differ, and you're not on the same page, and that's why there tends to be some sort of conflict. But at the end of the day, as treat everybody as a human being. I think like our episode, like, you know, with Nurse Elijah, that episode, all kinds of crazy. I think the first one, or no, the third one, where, you know, it's just like treat people with respect. Like, everybody just deserves respect, and I think that's the way we should just live our lives. Like, just treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, at the end of the day, would you talk to somebody like that if your mother was standing there? You know? Exactly,
your grandmother. Like, would you be cursing me out at my job?
So I think, you know what, you needed that. I think
it was humbling.
It's humbled you a bit. I like it.
Humbling.
I think,
you know what?
I think you needed it.
Okay, so thank you, strange woman who cursed me out over bras and panties at my job and made me cry. You probably did a good thing. You probably did me a service. And at the end of the day, you were probably having a bad day anyways. So,
yeah, that's true. Most of the time, that's the case as well.
That's what my boss has said to, like, make me stop crying. So I'm like, so she's probably having a bad day. I'm like, you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah, think about all the times that you've snapped on somebody or said something inappropriate. Think about the day you were having, and like that person just happened to be at the wrong place.
In the wrong place at the wrong
time, and you know they got it.
You just got it, like the full brunt of it.
Yeah,
I got it full force right in the face, and the balls if I had any. To be honest with you, but it was what it was. I moved on from it. But last thing I wanted to mention was I had my youth empowering parents bubble soccer tournament event this week.
How was that?
It was good. Thank you so much, JR, for sponsoring the event. We all appreciate you and your business sponsoring. So that was really, really cool. I have like a flyer to show you with your like logo on it and everything.
The logo actually made it?
The logo made it. It made it on the little flyer.
Oh, nice.
It made it with a little description at the back and everything about what the company what the company does.
Well, that's so cute.
Everyone was really like, when I explained to them, because I understand what your business is all about. So when
you were talking about?
I was talking about it.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
And I was just like, yeah, he's like a jack of all trades. Like, that's just kind of.
I don't like that. I don't like you as my spokesperson.
I'm not your spokesperson. They were just like, what exactly? Like, they were just kind of like, did I get this right? Like, is this what the business is about? I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. I'll let you read it. I'm like, yeah.
You wrote something. I didn't even approve what you wrote. You just wrote something.
They took something off your website.
Oh, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they took something off your website, and I didn't write anything. I didn't write anything.
Cool.
No. They took it off your website. Yeah, so thank you very much. It went really well. It was like a blood match. Like, people were just... It was like having a bumper car on your head and, like, just no rules at all.
Oh.
Like, just no rules. Legs were flying. There was bloody balls everywhere. Like, the bubbles were bloody.
Like, there's bloody balls everywhere.
Bloody balls. That's what I said. The bubbles were all bloody and gross. Like, people were like, there were scars.
Weren't there kids playing this game?
No, it's adults. Like, it's like banks against banks and like energy companies against energy companies.
I misunderstood.
No, it's grown-ups playing each other, and they're vicious.
I thought it was the kids.
No, the kids volunteered, but it was grown-ups playing each other.
Why didn't you? I would have been like trying to like get a team out there, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
because you didn't do enough sponsorship to get a team.
Wow.
You donated, okay? You donated. I'm calling you a sponsor just because you donated.
You just donated.
You donated.
We're not putting you on the same line as TD, okay?
Yeah,
that's what's happening. That's what's happening right there.
Exactly. RBC was there. B2B was there. It was
really
cool.
I made that up. I don't know if TD was there.
No, TD wasn't there. RBC was there.
We're not giving them no love. RBC was there.
RBC was there. I was rooting for RBC. Region Park had a team. They won the overall tournament.
Yeah, I wonder if
and
RBC...
it was like a bunch of like big Somalian guys.
Yeah, I wonder if RBC will cut the fees on the check that I gotta give.
I told them, I'm like, if you guys win, I want like like discounts on my fees, my banking fees.
What?
Yeah, but the it was like literally like 8 Somalian guys that came onto the Regent Park team. They look like literally they just been imported from FIFA. So they massacred them. Like they massacred them. It was like a massacre. They're like, yeah, because they're like, we got this. Don't worry. We got. They play soccer on that field every single day.
Like we did
they
this before.
practice. Like these guys are coming from with business suits to go change in the change room into t-shirts.
These guys have
and like
basketball
they don't know
shorts.
what they're doing. These guys got the soccer cleats, the socks, the uniform. Like they were ready to go.
They're coordinated.
They killed it. Congratulations to Regent Park community team for your win.
Nice.
Yeah. So again, I wanted to get back to talking about what I did in my withdrawal management group, boundaries.
Okay.
So I find it challenging. I know that question in the beginning had to do with boundaries.
Yeah, I'm just tired of you going in my fridge like you live here.
Well, I've been here more than twice.
Yeah, but you don't provide anything productive to this household, and you gotta drink and eat all my food and drink all my drinks.
I ate a couple of corn chips, Julian. Don't even sit there and act like I ate all your food. I do not take food out of your fridge, out of your mouth. Like I just the juice. You know I have an obsession with juice, but
it's okay because I buy it for you because I don't actually drink it.
Because you don't drink it. That's the thing. He complains and he doesn't even drink juice, guys. Like honestly, I think he just wants me to feel bad, and I don't. Like I totally don't for violating this boundary.
That Tropicana is for me. Okay, chill out.
Like for violating this boundary, I don't. But I want to talk about boundaries and just how people how they violate them, how they can create them for themselves, and those around them that they might need boundaries for. So when I think of like, we could start with like things like physical boundary, but I think of like time management style boundaries, like time boundaries. Have you ever heard of time boundaries?
Oh, that is my one pet peeve. Like when people waste my time. Like that's my thing. I will do whatever I can to help anybody who is who is being positive. You know this. Like if you're being positive, if you're doing something productive, I will give you whatever I can. But don't waste my time. Don't have me traveling somewhere. Don't have me waiting
I know what you're
somewhere.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
What?
The situation the other day.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That was that's nothing. I got to see my parents. So that's nothing. But no, I'm just in general like don't waste my time. Like as I learned when I was in school, I had opportunity to work as a caterer in the catering industry, and I did a lot of private events for some wealthy people. And like I had opportunity, like once they had a few drinks in them, you get to ask them some questions, And the one thing they all valued was their time. And I realized,
time is money, baby.
Time is money. But time is just the thing is. Also, when my dad had his stroke and I was in the rehab facilities and I was, in the hospitals, the one thing was time. Everyone's like, I wish I spent more time with my family. I wish I had time. So I'm like, you know what? Don't waste my time.
So when people don't respect time boundaries, like for me, it's lateness.
But like, you're always late.
You're lying. You are full of dookie.
Okay.
When you came here, was I not standing at your door at 3 to 11 this morning?
Yeah.
What time did you set out for me to be here? 11 o'clock.
Yeah. But that's
I am not always late.
That's
JR.
After 8 months of me saying be here on time.
JR, you know I am always here on time. I'm fighting with you on this one. I'm not gonna let this go.
You got your rapper hands out right now.
I'm about to take my earrings off and everything right now because I cannot stand we come from a family that does not respect time. You know this about our family. On the grapevine side, we'll call it the grapevine side. They don't respect time.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you about the last 2 events that occurred outside of today's podcast. Were you on time?
I was ready to go, and as I said, the grapevine family, which is what I'm gonna call my mama's family, they were not ready to go. So I was sitting there waiting on them to get ready.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you this question because you went to university. Okay, so if you have an exam to write, okay, and your exam's at 9 o'clock in the morning, and your mom says to you or your dad says to you, your friend says to you, I'm going to pick you up at 8 to get you to your exam for 9. Mm-hmm. If they pick you up at 8:30 and you get to your exam at 9:30, whose fault is it?
Depends on where my exam is.
No. Whose fault is it? when it comes to completing your exam on time, whose fault is it?
It's mine.
All right, then. So, if you were supposed to be somewhere on time and the people that you were traveling with were late or were not acting appropriately, and that as a result led you to be not on time, can you stand here and say that you were on time? Answer the question that was asked.
I was not on time for that specific event.
Thank you. So
for that specific event, I was not on time.
No, but I'm saying, no, stop. You said that you're always on time. I just proved that you're not always on time. There's nothing more to talk about.
No,
we're done. No, we're done. No, there's nothing to talk about.
I'm saying it. Okay. When it comes to me deciding, and there's no other factors as to whether or not I'm going to be on time or not, I am in those regards always on time. I'm early for my classes. Okay. I get here on time. And I'm the only one in that factor.
You want me to keep going? Okay, so in that situation there, did you know where you were going? Did you have the address of the destination that you were going?
From Queens to Brooklyn? No, I didn't know where I was going.
Oh, you didn't know where you were going?
I didn't know where I was going. I did not have the address for the location.
Oh. Now, there were several people from that grapevine that did show up on time and that were traveling from the same place that you were traveling. I'm just curious to understand why you were not there on time.
I do not recall.
Oh, you don't recall? Oh,
I do not recall that. Cool. I do not recall people from my location showing up prior to the event.
That's all right.
I do not recall. It was too long ago.
All right. Well, let's keep going on boundaries then.
Fine. Let's go. Let's keep. What about emotional boundaries?
What do you mean?
When someone, have you ever? Okay, here's an example. Have you ever met someone who right away starts to overshare with you? Like they don't know you from Eve. They've just met you and they pour all of their emotions onto you and they overshare and they tell you about their life and their problems and their issues.
I don't think I've met anyone like that. I probably spot that person in advance and I'm just like, we're not doing this. Let's not do this. We're not doing this.
In my line of in my community, the mental health community, have met many people like this.
So when I'm with you, it happens all the time. Like I'll just be, I know we'll be just out somewhere and I'll be like, you know what? I'm just gonna step here to grab something quickly. And I turn back and you're in a conversation with someone. And then I just overhear the conversation. I'm like, too much information. I'm just gonna keep it moving. I'll message her in 10 minutes because this is gonna go on way too long.
People like to tell me stuff. People like, honestly, it's just the weirdest thing.
I just think you're receptive. People want to talk to me too, but I will not be receptive to it on occasion.
No, I'm just like, I can't. I'm a sucker for a hard knock story. Like I'm a sucker for it. Like just being in the community that I'm in, when you're in your illness, you have no emotional.
You say that a lot when you're in your illness. I don't know if you said it on the podcast a lot, but
I have said it.
Okay, but it's a term you use with me a lot, like in your illness. What does in your illness really mean?
Okay, so if I'm having a manic episode or that period right before I have a manic episode going into the manic episode, I am in my bipolar illness. Okay. Right now, I'm not in my illness. Okay. I'm a little off. I'm feeling a little low. We'll get to that. We'll talk about that probably later a little bit. But I'm not in my illness. I'm taking my meds. I'm healthy. I'm stable. I'm functioning. I'm doing what I need to do for myself. Like, I'm good. But when I get into a period of depression where I'm feeling low, I'm feeling unmotivated. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to podcast. I don't want to do anything. I just want to pull the covers over. I don't want to shower. I'm in my illness. Okay. But I'm at the stage in my life where I can recognize when that's coming, when it's on its way. Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there that don't have someone to tell them like, hey, I think something's off. I think you should go see your doctor. So they just overshare in group situations, because a big part of recovery for a lot of people is going to groups. So they'll overshare in like a group situation. They'll meet you on the street and start oversharing.
Well, I don't think you're necessarily oversharing in a group. Actually, I've never been in a group,
No,
so I don't
it's
know.
possible. It's possible.
What am I saying?
Like when each person gets 3 minutes to talk and one person's talking for 20 minutes about, you know what I mean? They're oversharing. Yeah. They're oversharing.
Got it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I find there's a lot in my life of emotional, like just oversharing, and it's challenging for me because I want to hear what you have to say. I want to be able to help you or, you know, try to make things a little bit better for you. But I have to remember that you have to set boundaries. Like, it's like if someone sends you a 10-page email about their life, are you reading all 10 of those pages, or are you letting them know, listen, like, you got to shorten this up a little bit. Like, you got to like condense this, like Cole's Notes version.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I think, like, emotional oversharing can be a challenging thing for people. And I don't know if it's a challenge for you, but like at some point you will meet someone who's going to overshare with you. And emotionally overshare with you. And
I'm trying to be a stand-up comedian. I'm oversharing all the time.
You're oversharing emotionally. You're pushing those boundaries
all the time.
You're pushing, but you're more pushing intellectual boundaries.
Am I?
I would say when it comes to you and me, because we had a bit of a conflict the other day, and I'm willing to talk about it if you are.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So JR said, and I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with this statement, that intellectually he's smarter than me.
Whoo!
He accidentally, and I really believe it was an accident because he was on a rant. And when JR gets on a rant, whoa, boy, overshare. Like, talk about emotional oversharing, okay, guys? When JR gets on a rant, it's complete emotional oversharing. Like, I don't need to hear some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, but it comes out anyways. And it comes from a place of love. It comes always from a place of love, as Joe Budden would say. Always from a place of love.
Place of love, no hate.
You know, no hate.
No,
But
energy.
he said, you know, he didn't respect my intelligence, and I don't think he meant that he didn't respect my intelligence. He just meant that, like, listen, he reads a lot of books. He puts himself in a lot of situations to learn things. I'm not always in that space. I'm not always in that mental space.
So it actually really came from. Oh, okay, it's one of those things where it's like don't meet your idols, you know, don't think of anyone as a superstar, like don't, like, all those types of things is where it came from, because like growing up, obviously you were someone that I looked up to, right? So, you know, and always you hear Onika's smart, Onika's this, right? You know, and then I sit back after a while and I'm like, yo, Onika ain't shit, you know, like, I'm like,
he insults me intellectually.
I'm like, you know,
he doesn't respect my boundaries.
No, but I'm like, you know, we've both read the same books, you know, like we've both got the same types of education. We've both done the same things. It's like, wait a minute, why am I thinking of myself as less than,
which you shouldn't,
which is something that I've had to change my mentality in my life in general. But it's just like, why am I thinking of myself as less than when no, like, there's no reason for me to, like, I can have the same types of conversations. I can kind of be in the same realm. I can have all those types of experiences when it comes to an intellectual conversation.
Yeah.
So I was just like, in that moment, I'm like, you ain't shit. Like,
yeah, and the last year you've been winning. You've been beating me. I haven't been reading as many books. I haven't been on the news cycle as I should be. You know, I've just been like, let's just fucking say it, lazy.
Yeah, you've been lazy, and I've been like, I've been like, just doing me, just like kind
doing
of,
you,
just
and the you that you're doing, you know? is about self-development. It's about growth. I feel like just sometimes when it comes to my like intellectual stuff and my boundaries, I feel like I get tunnel vision. Sometimes
you were saying
I get
that.
like tunnel vision, and I focus on, okay, I'm just gonna focus on work, like everything, all my whole life. And my therapist said this to me once. She had told me this about me. She's like, you focus on like one thing, you ignore all the other things in your life, and you need to learn to come up with a balance.
Yep. I've had that same conversation. So
and you've had the same conversation with me. It's about balance, not just coming up with boundaries for yourself. And the last one I want to talk about, which really touched my life in the last 2 weeks, material boundaries.
Oh, okay.
Now, it's like if someone was to destroy a book you lent them.
Yeah.
Or not give it back at all.
I'm not lending you a book, so it's okay.
Yeah. I have one of your books that I'm actually reading right now.
Yeah, but I have one of yours, so that's okay.
That's equal.
That's equal, but like in general, I've had bad experiences with like...
Yeah.
Like I had the original edition of Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom. original copy.
What happened to it?
It was like, one of my ex-wife's friends was like, "Oh, can I borrow it?" And I was like, "No."
Just knock it out anyways.
No, and Max was like, "No, just let her borrow it." And I'm like, "Okay, if you let her borrow it, you're responsible for getting it back. Please get this book back because that has sentimental value to me." And then hey, can you get my book back? So whatever.
Like it has no value. And the thing is, books have value. I remember once cousin C, she borrowed my Memoirs of a Geisha book. And she destroyed it. Like, she was in fashion at the time, so she was using it for like the fashion aspect of the book because it was about like the whole geisha lifestyle whatsoever. And she put post-it notes, she folded pages, she highlighted shit. She's giving me back this tattered and torn piece of garbage that was a gift from a friend that I love so much. Like, and you still, cousin C, you still owe me a book. I still haven't gotten my memory. I'm holding you to that book.
You see what's interesting? My life lesson about that was learned through you with my mother, where you came and like destroyed my place like as a kid. And my mother was like,
no material boundaries.
My mother was like, if you don't want people touching your stuff, then you open your mouth and be vocal about it. And you, to this day, you see me, I'm very vocal about it because I treat my stuff with respect. People don't treat their stuff with respect.
No,
I know most people don't treat their stuff with respect, but I treat everything I have with respect. And when I go to someone's place, I treat their stuff with respect. So for me, I have a hard time when someone's here and they're disrespecting my space.
For me, okay, so there was an example. I'm just gonna give it. So I have a story. BBJ recently went out to coffee with him, probably the last coffee we'll go to. And I bought a steamer for my bed because I'm still dealing with the whole bed bug issue.
Oh, did you bring anything here that needs to be put up in the sky?
No, nothing. Okay. Nothing. The bed bugs are gone.
I need to hang your stuff from the middle of the room now.
Just relax.
Okay.
So I wanted to steam my bed. So I buy this like $80 steamer from Walmart. And he proceeds to want to take it home with him to use it first because he suspects his roommate has given him bed bugs, which he does not have. He's just whatever. Like, he doesn't have them, but he thinks he has them. So he wants my steamer. So I'm thinking, like, I just bought this though. Like, I just bought this for my imminent situation at home. And like, you want to take it away from me. And I don't like, you want to borrow it already and it hasn't even been used yet. Like, the whole thing to me, I didn't know about material boundaries till I did this workshop. Well, but I'm like, that's a violation of my material boundaries.
But you've been violating everybody else's material boundaries for years.
What?
Like, here's the thing. Other than me, I think you, other than me, because I don't tolerate it at all. And you're pretty vocal about it whenever I say something. But everyone else, you violate their material boundaries all the time.
I don't think that's 100%. True. Okay. Give me an example.
Give you an example?
I want an example.
When you go to people's places, you just walk in and I'm here and you pick up things and you touch things and you go in their fridge and do whatever you want to do. Material boundaries. You're touching other shit.
What shit do I touch?
I can't give you an example now because since I've been in this place, you don't touch anything because I am...
Because you're a crazy person who will kill me.
No, it's not that. It's just that you don't respect things. Like, you don't touch things like you respect them. Like, when people pick things up, they don't put them back in the place where they found them, or I don't know. I respect material things. I don't have a lot of material things, so the things I have, I respect. And I wish people would respect their own things and other people's things as well.
All right, fair enough. I still don't think I disrespect material boundaries, but if anyone who knows me knows of a time I did it, I'm sorry. But the last boundary is sexual boundaries. Have you ever disrespected someone in a sexual way?
No.
Oh, God, he's no. Like,
what? Come on. My consent conversation is typically. So this is the consent conversation. All you got to do is say yes. Like, I mean, like it's. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I mean, that's not what I'm about. Sorry.
Well, that's good. That's one of the boundaries that I'm just, I feel like it's being completely disrespected right now in Ontario.
How so?
I read an article last week that in Ontario courts, they're allowing men who are extremely intoxicated to use that as a defense for sexual assault.
Okay. So if both parties are drunk, what are we saying? If one party's drunk, what are we saying? I mean, because let's be real. If a man is really drunk, he's not getting up.
Yeah, he's not getting it up.
He's not. Yeah, let's be real. Let's be real. So, at any point where a man is intoxicated to the point where you can't use that as an excuse. I don't think that point of mill intoxication to that level, where we're talking about that level where you can't make a conscious decision, and it's like so like, well, at that point you can't get it up. So I don't see as a I think that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I just think that like, I think it's disgusting. I think this whole situation, because it was ruled by the Supreme Court in like the early 90s that this could not be used as a defense, but apparently now it goes against our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, so men can, use this. There's this guy specifically, I can't remember the name, McCraw is his last name, Cameron McCraw.
Whoa, let's be sure if we got that right.
No, it is Cameron
Okay.
McCraw. He's claiming that he was out drinking and he smoked marijuana and he took the date rape drug. So he might have blacked out or whatever the case may be, but then he sexually assaulted his roommate's girlfriend. So a female judge, and I can't remember her name, so I'm not going to say the woman's name. A female judge ruled that he could use the defense of extreme intoxication for sexual assault because it violated the Charter of Rights and Freedoms for him not to be able to use that defense. So,
well, here's the thing: he should be able to use the defense. Okay, that's no big deal. Use it as a defense by all means, but that doesn't mean you should be able to be like
acquitted
of the crime. Use whatever you want as a defense. You want to say, you know what? I ate cheese today and cheese makes me gassy, so blah blah blah. If that's a defense you want to use, go ahead. But in the day, it should not. You're still guilty.
I don't even think
you're still
guilty. You're guilty, and I don't think it should even be in the court, because at the end of the day, and this is another big thing going on in the news right now. Why didn't report? Like the hashtag why didn't report. It's stuff like that makes women not want to report, because the courts are saying now, this guy was, this person is being charged with sexual assault, and they were at a party and they were extremely intoxicated. So therefore, it's an excuse. It's not their fault what they did.
Here's the thing: if you both go to the party sober, okay. Mm-hmm. You both drink to the point of intoxication. Something happens. You both were intoxicated. The next morning now, let's say one of the parties wakes up and says, I regret this. I was sexually assaulted. How do you really prove that? How do you I'm just like, how do you?
It's a gray area.
Like you both willingly got intoxicated, and when you're intoxicated, you get loose lips. Your inhibitions are gone. You all your training, for lack of better words, just goes out the window. So how then can you, if you both are consenting adults that consented into drinking, not the sexual aspect, but into drinking, and you both black out, something happens, the gentleman needs to be able to use that as a defense in court. He has to be able to. I'm going to stand on that. I believe so. You have to be able to use it as a defense. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that this person should be found not guilty, but you absolutely should be able to use that as a defense. What you're saying, what you're saying doesn't make sense. I disagree with you 100%. Because
I don't agree with you.
If I go out tonight and I drink, and I get shit faced, and there's a girl that gets out and gets shit faced, and something happens, and I black out, and she decides to say that, you know what, I feel what happened was sexual assault. I should be able to say, hey, we both went out and got drunk, and my drunkenness is a part of my defense. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying you should be able to use that as a defense. Absolutely. I'm not saying that you're going to win your case, but you should absolutely be able to say it's a defense.
I think it's just like another reason, because here's the situation for me, like personally, I've been in this situation. I haven't really talked about it on the podcast, my sexual assault history, but I'm going to get into it right now. When I was 27, I was out drinking with a girlfriend, and I had like, I don't know, it was like fucking 15 shots of Patron, something crazy, something really ridiculous. We went home with strangers, and then one of them drugged me. Like, they put cocaine in my marijuana, and I knew something was off, and I knew something was funny, and I said no. I remember saying, no, I don't want to do this. And they still proceeded to go ahead and rape me. Now, I don't remember at that point the person's name. I don't remember where they lived. Did I put myself in a position where hold on a second.
Okay.
Did I put myself in a position where I was in danger? Absolutely. But even now, that situation has never sat well with me because I took part in the drinking. I went to the person's house, but did that still, even when I said no, did that give them a right to put their hands on me?
Not at all.
Regardless of my condition?
Not at all. But I like the fact that you said you put yourself in that situation because you went out like 15 shots is more than half a bottle. So you drank yourself shitty. Then you made another bad decision. So you went out with somebody. Did you know this girl really well? So
not even. And I know the story. So
you made a bunch of bad decisions. So you decide you went out with someone you don't know. Bad decision one.
Yeah.
You then drank with somebody continuously that you don't know who brought more people that you don't know. Another bad decision. Then after the drinking, you decided, I'm going to go back to somebody's house. Now, typically, what does it mean when you go back to somebody's house after you've been drinking?
Intercourse.
All right. So with both parties, did you have that on your mind when you went there?
No, I didn't.
So the gentleman definitely had that on his mind when you went there because we're drinking. You want to come back to my place? Okay. So he had that on his mind. I'm not saying he's right at all. You kept putting yourself in these situations. And then where bad things are about to happen, every one of these turns, something bad can happen. Mm-hmm. And you keep putting yourself in that situation. And then all of a sudden, when something bad happens, you want to cry out about how bad this person was. Well, this person was a bad person when they got you drunk in the first place. Mm-hmm. This person was a bad person when they tried to bring you back to their house when you were drunk in the first place. This person was a bad person when they got back to their house and they wanted to do more drugs or more drinking. This was a bad person. And you constantly were like, okay, who cares? Let's do it. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do this. Well, I don't know. Like you kept putting yourself. There were so many checkpoints where you could have said,
where I could have said no,
stop, no, and it's like, I don't know. Like,
and my inhibitions at the time of this situation were really low. Like they were really, there was no thoughts in my head outside of, like I don't even know. Like I can't even to this day figure out what I was thinking. But.
Because I can give you an example. Like I think Tuesday nights I go with some of my comedy buddies, right? Mm-hmm. And there's typically one girl in this group, and at the end, like just the way she carries herself amongst men, it's just like she's like, okay, I'm gonna have a drink with you guys, but it's an individual sport. If I can't handle it, I'm not handling. And then the night she's like, no, I'm going home. I'm doing this, but like just the way you carry yourself, you don't put yourself in certain situations where bad things can happen to you. I don't know. I don't know. We've talked about this. I'm not going to really throw out all my true feelings right now.
It's challenging.
It's challenging just to put it into words and convey it properly. But I don't know. Like I feel like if you're constantly going to put yourself in a bad situation, something bad's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And
the why I didn't report hashtag started because of the things that are going on in the United States between that potential Supreme Court elect and Dr. Christina Ford.
I have no idea what you're talking about. For the first time, who's more informed?
Intellectual boundaries. What? Yeah. So Christine Ford came out because this is President Trump's his appointee for the Supreme Court. And keep in mind, when he gets into the Supreme Court, he's in there for life. So he's shriveled up and dead, right?
I studied their
So Christine Ford said it when we were in college or when we were in high school, I believe. This guy Kavanaugh sexually assaulted me. I don't think he raped her, but there was they were at a party and there was some kind of a sexual assault that happened.
I have a huge challenge with this. Like, okay, sexual assault is sexual assault, no question asked. And I hate to throw the however or the but in here, but this is more of a question than a but.
I need the question than not the but.
Okay, so during certain time periods, there are certain things that are socially acceptable that later on they are not. Mm-hmm. So something... It's still bad then, but like
it's bad. It's just bad, man. You can't defend it.
I'm trying. I'm like, nah.
Bad.
I'm like, nah. Nope.
It's because here's the thing. Now Trump comes out with if it was that serious, and this is why the hashtag started. Trump responded finally about the situation because he was being neutral before, like as neutral as Trump could be. And he's like, if this was 36 years ago, if it was that serious, she would have reported it to the police, or a beloved family member would have said something. I need times, places, dates. This is what offends me. Because
no, but the thing is, we just had an earlier conversation where I made a comment about you, and you told me I want times and dates. You just did that to me.
But hold on a second.
Okay.
We're talking about a traumatic incident that happens in a woman's life where she can remember things like the smell of the man, but she might not remember the exact date that it happened on.
Okay, so you're wait. I think we're I'm on it. We're on a different wavelength.
I think we might be on different wavelengths right now.
Your concern is that when someone asks a assault victim for specifics, that's a problem. No, I'm trying to understand. I'm not making an argument.
No,
I'm
saying it's a problem because just because this happened 30 years ago or 20 years ago or 2 years ago, the whole incident in itself is extremely traumatic. So for instance, I'll give you an example. I remember, because I was raped at 14, I was gang raped. I remember the person that raped me, what he looked like, but the 4 other guys that were with him, I don't remember what they looked like or their names. I can tell you, I couldn't point them out in the lineup. And it's been, I'm 14, 20, I'm 35, 20 years. It's been 20 years. But I could tell you what that guy smelled like. I could tell you what backpack I wore. I could tell you what school I ran to after it all happened, to rock in the library and just like be shattered over it. And I can tell you what I was thinking at the time at 14, thinking to myself, my grandma is going to kill me. My mom is going to kill me. I lied and said I was at school doing homework. I was watching this guy play soccer instead. I ended up being assaulted. And then the guy came to me after a week of being absent from school, approached me and said, nothing really happened. It's not like we raped you. So if you say anything, it could happen again. So my 14-year-old self isn't saying anything to anyone. Yeah. I was so convinced to the point till I was 24 that the rape at 14 never happened. I was convinced that I had made it all up in my head, that it was a trauma that never really happened to me. That's how it messes you up so much psychologically. And then when I was 24 and I had my first manic episode, my parents were the one that approached me afterward and said, what happened to you when you were a kid? Because when you were in your manic state, you were screaming this guy's name, begging your father to save you and rescue you and help you. Because I was in a delusional state, right? When I was raped at 18, that was a boyfriend. He said he loved me. I thought it was okay.
So I hate to cut you off, but we've gone through this. So like we've talked about this outside the podcast where we've gone through all this, and I'm just saying, you make bad decisions.
I make really bad decisions. I mean, I can't say at 14 deciding to stay at school to watch a soccer tournament was going to lead to rape.
But at the same time, your parents are like, my parents were like, school's done at 3:15.
You need to be home by 3:45.
It takes you 30 minutes to get home. Plus, we're going to give you an extra 15 minutes leeway time. You should be home by 4 o'clock.
By 4 o'clock.
There's no reason for you to not be home by 4 o'clock. So, but what did you do? You decided to stay around and gallivant and
do whatever.
It was a bad decision. Your parents were guiding you in the right direction.
But I made a bad
decision.
I made a bad decision.
I mean,
and that's, I think sometimes with women, we know that.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
Oh yeah,
that's where the guilt comes from. That's where the self-loathing comes from. That's where I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to report on it. Because you have to also remember that small percentage of women who do report, the ringer they go through, because we talked about it in the Me Too episode. Like we talked about it in the Me Too episode, how, and you said it in that episode, how their sexual history is put on parade, how they're questioned, how they are judged. Sometimes rape kits don't even get processed for 6 months to a year at a time, in time for the courts to prosecute. Like, this system is designed to make women who've been sexually assaulted, like, it's designed to make them fail, to make them not succeed at getting justice.
Who designed the system? Come on.
Men.
This is one of those times where I'm like, I mean, it's in our favor. Like, we designed it for us.
Yeah, there was some fact, like, of 1,000 rapes that were reported, 994 of them got off. Only 6 people got convicted. I can't remember where I saw the fact, but like, I'm looking at this like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, but also you gotta remember,
this makes sense.
Being accused of sexual assault ends your life as a man. If someone accuses you as a man of sexual assault, you type your name into Google, you're gonna see, accused of sexual assault. I mean, just the accusation alone ruins your life. And there are some women out there that are willing to accuse innocent men of.
But we're not talking about.
Oh,
those women.
we're not. I'm just saying, but.
And I want to say
but
to that
at the same
point,
time, but you have to talk about, because yes, there's going to be, even if there's 99 women that were actually assaulted, you're saying the one guy that was accused of assault that didn't actually do it, you're saying he has no rights?
What I'm saying is, in those cases, it's very. I'm not saying he doesn't have rights. He absolutely has rights. If you're innocent, you have innocent until proven guilty.
The second a man is accused of assault, sexual assaulting a woman, even if he had nothing to do with, the second, your life's over.
And I'm not sure.
Is that fair?
I'm not. No, it's not fair. But I'm not sure of the statistic. I can't quote it.
Come on. The second you hear a man if you walk up today and a man said to you, "Hi, my name is Julian," and you're like, "Hey, Julian," and you went on and then you Googled my name, and all of a sudden you see a Toronto Star article from 2013 that says Julian charged with sexually assaulting his girlfriend, right? Like, you see that now. What, you're not gonna think something of me? It doesn't matter if I was proven not guilty. You're gonna feel away.
I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying though is, there are not just random women running around accusing men of sexual assault. If a woman says she's been sexually assaulted, and that's the problem too. Like, it's a he said she said crime.
Yeah,
if a woman
says she's been sexually assaulted, I'm gonna take that.
You have to take that at face value.
However, there are women out there that are just evil people. Like, I have no problem with women. I have a problem with evil people. And there's evil people out there that might just go out there and say, this person did this this person assaulted me for the sake of just ruining that person's life. There's women out there that, can we agree with that?
I can absolutely agree with that. But that doesn't, one bad apple isn't spoiling the bunch of women that actually got sexually assaulted. Those are the women I'm concerned with.
No, but the one bad apple spoils it for both, because the thing is, you have women out there that are lying. So that for the women, what that does is take the women that have actually been assaulted. It makes them fearful of. Does it not make you fearful of going out and saying, "Hey, this is what happened to me," because of the women that have lied about it. Immediately, you're gonna have other men that are gonna be immediately say, "Oh, can we believe her? Can we believe her?" Because the last girl that said that, she lied about it.
But every case should be treated individually.
Come on. Every
case should be treated on an individual basis.
I agree with you. Yes, you're right, 100%. But that's not the world we live in. You're not. I think that every person should be Martin Luther King. Content of their character.
Yeah.
And all that. But is that true? No. As a black man, I've had to work 3 times as hard to get to where I am today. I didn't get the easy. Oh, your uncle is the vice president of this company, or your godfather is this person. No, I didn't get everything I got today. I had to work my behind off for it myself.
But women shouldn't have to fight to prove they were sexually assaulted. They should. There should
no. The bigger thing is, men shouldn't sexually assault. That's the biggest thing.
Men shouldn't sexually assault.
Forget that. No. The number one thing is, men shouldn't be sexual assault.
Thank you.
That's the number one.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you.
That's the number one. The sexual assault thing, I don't understand it. I guess I don't understand it because for me, I feel myself as not as attractive as I used to be. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, and I'm still getting laid, so I don't understand.
You sure are.
I don't. Chill. I don't. For me, I don't understand this whole sexual assault thing. There's always people that are willing to. I don't know.
It's a control thing. It's a power thing. It's a power thing, and it's a control thing. It's a violent.
I don't know where it comes from.
It could come from your own home, seeing your mother violated, seeing a sister violated, or something It's about control. It's about anger. It's not even about the sex. It's about having power over the woman.
See, that's one thing. Growing up, my dad. Even if my dad I've never seen my dad angry at my mom, ever.
Yeah.
He's there's never been a word nothing. Mm-hmm. I see my mom upset at both of us, but never the other way around.
Control thing.
So I've never really seen that control power struggle. I guess I can't really relate to it.
They're sick. They're sick people that do this stuff. So. But again, there's just, it's not an excuse. And I had to tweet out about it. So if you guys want to head over to my Twitter, and just see
Yeah,
the
because
tweet.
you're on Twitter now.
I'm on Twitter now. I don't even know my Twitter handle. I think it's Onika. I think it's Onika Dainty, to be honest with you.
We'll
update it. We'll update it.
We'll add to the description.
But yeah, I tweeted out like why I didn't report, because I mean it's this in this day and age, in this climate, it's becoming more and more challenging for women to trust law enforcement with their well-being, with their bodies, with their minds, with everything. Like it's becoming very, very challenging. And
can we say that we should all start looking out for ourselves and not put ourselves in situations?
Yeah, to women, and I'll say this to women, as a person who has had to deal with sexual assault throughout the course of her life, from a very young age to adulthood, making responsible decisions, making better decisions. Don't get so drunk that you can't walk down the street. Don't do those types of things. Like, protect yourselves, watch your backs, and watch each other's backs. But with that said, that has been the dish of the day. JR, please tell them how they can reach us.
Yeah, definitely. You can reach us at Dysh, DYSH, at daintydish.com. That's DAINTYDYSH.com. You can check out Onika on Instagram, Best of Onika. You can check her out on Twitter. Just check the description for that Twitter. We'll have that up here next week.
Yep, sorry.
You can check her out on our website, onikadainty.com. There's definitely some writing, some more stuff up there. You can check me out on Instagram, because that's pretty much all I got. Best of JR. So thank you so much for listening. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts,
give us a 5. You deserve a 5.
Yeah, thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. If you're listening to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, any other platform, thank you so much for listening. We truly appreciate it. We appreciate your feedback, and thank you for letting us know that our last couple episodes were not up to snuff. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate your honesty.
We appreciate your honesty. So now we're back at trying to get things at top quality.
On track.
Thank you so much. Well, that's enough. That's it for me.
All right. As I said, that has been the dish of the day. And I hope y'all have yourselves a very, very, very happy hump day.